Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray. Welcome to the channel, Resources for the Modern Creative, and we did it. 3,000 followers. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to do this. You know, I love music production with all my heart, and to be able to give back in this manner means the most. So let's keep at it. We do have a giveaway coming up soon. That video should be out maybe today, tomorrow. We shall see, but stay tuned and you will get some great stuff for free. Today we are talking about Crystalline, Baby Audio's new plugin. This thing is so extra, it's so amazing, and I want to be able to be the first to show you the ins and outs. In the words of Baby Audio, Crystalline follows in the tradition of legendary algorithmic reverbs, but adds new features and higher fidelity thanks to modern computer power. It is meant to sound unreal in the most positive sense of the word. Its rooms and halls won't sound like those in your house, but closer to those of your dreams. And I want to give you an example of what this actually sounds like. So I have a tune here that I'm working for a publisher. We're about to sell this, and without Crystalline, it sounds like this. So we're just playing the piano part here. Check it out. Nice performance, nice idea, memorable melody, but as soon as we insert Crystalline into the picture, something very special happens. We've got algorithmic magic with a modern twist. Check it out. So what's happening here? We're hearing a lot of extra cream, a silky type of softness that really lends itself well. I want to go ahead and break down the plugin and show you what's unique about it. There's a lot of algorithmic reverbs in the marketplace, but what makes Crystalline unique? You ready? Let's go. So the concept of Crystalline is to take the algorithmic reverb and to modernize it, to give it a twist. The BPM synced start and end times is just one of the many facets that gives it a unique twist. There's also shimmer capabilities, modulation. There's a gate on here, which is really great. You have the opportunity to shape your tone by means of a shelving EQ. Lots of great stuff. So let's just start with the start and end times. So we would think of start as some kind of pre-delay, right? So you can sync this to the host tempo. Let's just do an eighth note for now. And you can also determine how long this is going to be. So if, let's just say you wanted this to be 1 bar long. So if I move the snare to beat 1, it's going to sound like this. So that's dry. And now let's insert Baby Audio. So the start time is an eighth note after the fact. Let's say we wanted that to be a quarter. And we'll make that really wet. Check it out. All right, so for now, start time will be right when we hear the sound source, and then I'll back off the dry wet so we can hear some of the processed and unprocessed signal. So that was about 1 bar long, right? You could take that and say, actually, I want that to be 2 bars long, or 1 bar and a beat, or what have you. So let's drag that over. So now this is 2 bars. Okay, so we have the capability of bypassing on the right side of the GUI or the left side. So I've never seen that before. Credit to Baby Audio. They're always doing something new. Let's go ahead and play with size. So the relationship between size and the start and end time is really interesting, because when we think of a long or a big reverb, we think of the tail being long, right? So a sound like this. We don't really think of a big space with a short tail like this. And so this is really going to help you out with your mixes. It's going to help you clean up a lot of unwanted noise and dead trails that really shouldn't be there when you're transitioning from section to section. So on the same token, you can make a tiny space, and we're used to hearing this, and that sounds really sweet and lush in and of itself. But what if you wanted it to be like ridiculously long, right? So let me go ahead and bring that back. Let's do 4 bars. Here we go. And that kind of thing could be really crucial for a transition, for the end of a song, what have you. So there's a lot of power just right there, but of course, there's more. Let me go ahead, go up to Spacey, and we'll work with Sparkle. And what this is going to do, it's going to add some high-end sheen to the reverb itself. So without it, sounds like this. But we bring that into the picture. You just click and drag up. It's going to sound a bit more, airy. So that's really nice. Here's a darker sound and a little more high end. The width is really nice. I'm not sure if you're hearing this in mono or stereo, but man, I really hear this collapse and sound very small. And once I bring that out, it's like extra wide. So that is really great. Whatever they're using, whatever tech is underneath the hood, great stuff. Let's go over to the bottom left here. Resolution is going to give you higher algorithmic formulas or basic stuff. So not that you're never going to want to use basic. Sometimes for lo-fi or what have you, it's going to sound perfect. So let's go ahead and listen to this. Okay, so I'll bring up the dry wet a bit and let's listen to the pristine algorithm. All right, basic. All right, not too far off. Modulation is going to be really interesting because as the reverb tail increases, you'll be able to hear kind of some nuances and some movement at the tail end. So without it, you just get one solid experience, right? And let me go ahead and increase the end time so we can really hear this. All right. All right, and so as I increase this, you'll start hearing some wavy movement. Check it out. So if you're not really hearing modulation, it's simply because it's not as easy to hear on snares. So if I pull up like a synth, so if I isolate just the sound without the modulation, okay, as soon as we add that modulation, listen for the tail end. So if you ever have trouble learning that parameter, let's use a synth, a guitar, something like that. I find that if you go from pristine to basic, you will hear a difference in the modulation itself. So let's be a bit more subtle about that. This is going to really fatten up the sound as well. Shimmer, really interesting. So shimmer is going to take the high frequencies and make them decay slower. So the low end will be gone and you'll still hear a lot of the high end. And this is, again, really good for a cleanup job, but also it just sounds absolutely stellar. Now, what's interesting about this particular setup is how they did it. You can have the focus be at 2K, 4K, or 8K. And then on top of that, you can have it be really pronounced, multiplied by 2, 4, or 6. So let's really kind of go for it. Multiply by 6 at 2K. All right, let's see what this sounds like. All right, so that was 2K. Let's go bump up to 8K here. Let's see what that sounds like. Now, if I drop the modulation, that should be able to help as well. And let's bring that down to 4K. And again, we're multiplying this specific feature by 6. Let's see what this sounds like. Now, when I turn it off, you'll really be able to hear it. Check it out. Right, it didn't last as long as we were anticipating. So this is really interesting. Never seen anything like this before. So again, you're going to set up the cutoff time and you're going to multiply that specific point so that you're hearing more of the high end of the reverb as time goes along. Let's shoot over to the right side where cleanup is. And for this, we want to see what we can do to the frequencies. Now, damping is really great. If you're not used to it, again, I highly recommend you try it with both a percussive and a synthetic or organic sound. So let's listen to it here with this synth. So without it. So this is carrying on for a while, right? The end time is 2 bars. Let's go ahead and start to close in on that so we can change the shape of the reverb. So that's really interesting. We have a low pass filter and we have a high pass filter. So let's just use the high pass filter. I'm just grabbing this from the left hand side. It looks a little alien, but it's really easy to do. It's all built in. They're doing what we all do, but they're just saving us, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. So let's leave some of the high end in here. Okay. And then we will clean up the sides. So this is going to remove any low end from the reverb itself. Everything else is just going to stay in mono. So again, I did mention a gate. Never seen that before. Let's play with the threshold and the release. So I'll do a really short release for now, and then I'll grab the threshold here on the left-hand side, and let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, so there it is right there. Let's, I don't know, maybe do a bit of a longer release then. So prior to using this, right, we were hearing this. But let's say you have a vocal coming in at bar 6. Of course, we could change the end time as well, or you can just set this up so it works with the timing of your song. So that's really nice as well. I would have to insert a gate. Maybe I would have to like sidechain this to something else. No more. Really nice. All right, shaping. This one's sweet. Check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shelving EQ and emphasize the lows. So that's kind of nice. Really high now. Check it out. So I want this to be nice and bright. Okay. Let me lift up the volume. All right. One more time. Really dark. So really nice. Whatever EQ they're using sounds really sweet. Check out smoothing. This is really interesting. Now all of a sudden it becomes crispy, right? Like it cooks with some kind of like marinade or something. So let's make it really round. I'm used to that sound, and then we'll bake it. It's amazing. It's like if you have a vocal sitting on top and you don't want it to kind of make murky the waters, and you're trying to get it to sound like it's on top of the mix, I think that's a really good way of doing it. Now, this is really interesting, transients. So according to Baby Audio, it says here, transients lets you shift the reverb algorithm's emphasis to either the attack or the sustained part of the incoming signal. We've seen this with various plugins that have been coming out in the marketplace. Think Quantum, think Split EQ. It says emphasizing the sustained more than the transients will make the reverb feel more airy and light. Isn't that a great thing to do if you have a breakdown or something? And you don't want the singer's S's or T's to be emphasized, or P's, right? While emphasizing the attack stage is a great way to get splashy and dense sound. So for this basic example, I want to focus on just the sustain part. Yeah? See what that sounds like. All right, so theoretically that should be focusing on the body. Let me get rid of the gate here by double clicking, and let's focus on the attack. So yeah, does sound a bit more splashy. That's a good term there, right? So I want to focus on the body. Okay, good. And let me go ahead and change the start time, get away from sync mode, and we'll just deal with milliseconds. So we'll raise that up a bit. Okay, now let's play with Ducker. So we're hearing a very big sound here. Check it out. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to have the incoming signal play first, and then I want to hear the reverb after the fact. Right? So what was the experience there? You heard the source sound, and then you got to hear the reverb. So really nice feature, again, to be able to set that up on a bus in parallel. That would be a nightmare, but this is really nice. Okay. So to the right of that, we've got a reverse and freeze function. So if I click on that, sounds really nice. Let's go back to the snare for this. So you can use that, create your own risers. If I wanted to freeze a sound, I can also do that. Let me go ahead and play this out. So that's something that I like to do as well to test out these units. All the parameters won't work, but sometimes if you just freeze something and you start playing with like modulation and the width, you can really start to integrate what the plugin is and how it can help you. So there's a couple secondary things up on top. Again, 2 ways to bypass. As mentioned, you can change the color of the GUI itself. I personally like this look. And then on the right-hand side, you have the ability to create a default just by the click of a button. And you also have an eco mode. But if you end up using this, it will take the resolution, set it up so it's a basic algorithm, and you're not going to be able to use the shimmer function as well. So it helps with CPU, but you're not going to be able to use this plugin at its full capacity. There are a couple other things you should know really quick. Right down here where it says ducker, there is a small button. And if you click on this, you can have this ducking capability, this ducking feature be a bit more subtle in nature. So this could be gently inserted or not. And then right here on the right-hand side, if you want to just test out a couple presets, but leave the dry wet function, if you turn that on, it's locked and loaded and you can play with presets. Here, I'll show you what I mean. So notice the dry wet feature isn't moving at all, right? So you're trying to find the perfect preset for your snare, for your arpeggio, whatever it is, and you want to keep that, but you don't want that to change. This is a great way to do it. Now, some of you are more hands-on, some are more preset-based. It doesn't really matter. This plugin is going to get you there. Really easy to use, as you can see. And so I want you to support Baby Audio. The intro price is $49, which is a steal in my eyes. When it goes up to its full retail value, it will be $99. So tell them Eddie Gray sent you, and they might give you a courtesy discount. I don't know, but you can try it out. Thank you so much for watching. If you're looking for a reverb and an easy way to get some nice sounds, whether it's subtle or just something magical, majestic, epic, check out Crystalline. I think it's worth your time. Comes with everything that you need to get a nice reverb sound. So this is Eddie Gray signing off. If you have any questions for me, any comments, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. I'm always looking to help, and I'm always looking to learn as well. I can't tell you how many times I've read some comments from good people out there that are on the up and up, and I've learned something about music production. I don't claim to know everything that there is about this, and I never will. I am a student just like you, and I want to get better and better and better. And I don't look back on my resume, and I don't look back on everything that I've done. I'm in the moment, and I'm looking to grow and be the best right now. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. To all the new members of the channel, I really appreciate it. We're going to be loading a lot of new courses. You can support the channel by checking the links in the description. And that's pretty much it for now. Stay tuned. Giveaway coming soon. Eddie Gray signing off. Stay up, stay happy, stay focused on what you want, and I will see you next time. Take care, guys. We'll see you.